Easy to get the job, it's harder to keep it.
We're weakening it, so it'll come down a lot easier, and it's already weak. So, yeah, it's on your mind every day. You're in here, you wonder if you're going to get another good one or not, but yeah, it's your job. Someone's going to do it.
By just taking that cut out, it's like standing on a soda can and pressing in the edges. She'll collapse.
The main columns are where the initial explosions go off, and most of that's contained within there. They explain to us that the columns have to be wrapped in such a way they've got enough room to heave. In other words, to sort of go like that, they break the concrete structure, which is contained by the chicken wire, or not chicken wire, it's actually chain link. And then the small particles are contained by the cloth. And this curtain around the outside is really secondary to the columns being blown. So they take the initial blast, and this stuff here will take any other stuff that gets blown around inside the building. So the chain link here will take any large particles that get released from the columns, and then basically the blast cloth is to take any small fines and maybe some of the dust, but I think the dust will escape.
We do extensive studies. We do soil borings, we look at historical data, we look at the condition of structures, we review structures, we take pictures, we look for existing damage, we look at utility plots. What utilities are on the road? Do we have fiber optic lines, sewage lines, gas lines, water lines? We want to know where all those things are. And we know that our adjacent properties, our neighbors, are concerned about taking a structure like this and dropping it on the ground. It's not like an earthquake. Like we like to say, if you take a 5-gallon bucket full of sand and you drop it on a table, you get a thud. We're going to take that same 5-gallon bucket and pour it on the table. See, as the structure starts to come down, the structure itself becomes a shock absorber and starts to absorb all that energy as it hits the ground. Now, we do create some vibration. Here, I believe it's 25 millimeters per second, peak particle velocity. All of our calculations, and we go to a third-party seismic consultant to do that, say we should be below that. To ensure that, or to prove that, what we're going to set out here is a series of seismographs. We'll have seismographs over here toward the west to our tenants. Here we've got our historic structure to the south, and I think an additional 6 seismographs all around. So we'll be able to tell exactly what energy is transferred from the structure into the ground and into adjacent structures.
And you make a recording of that?
We make a recording of it, it's public record, and we can look at that and people say, oh, you cracked the plaster in my house. We'll come, we'll look, say, I'm sorry, but here's the scientific data that says it couldn't happen.
A kind of like a case study of what the ground vibrations would be for this kind of demo work. So that way we kind of have an understanding based on the soils in this area what kind of vibrations will be experienced by the nearby buildings. It'll be distributed by series to the neighboring property owners.
Loud countdown, and then we'll get Jaden to push the button at the appropriate time.
Okay. Yeah.
next one will just slit it full length. Tom, while I'm on my way back up, start looking at £1.5 pounds per cubic yard up there and think about the load ratio on the various size columns. You've only got 3.
We're less than a day away. By this time tomorrow, it'll all be over. I plan on being in my hotel room, taking a shower, getting ready to get on a plane. So we're finalizing our load ratios as we go down per floor, depending upon the stirrup configuration. We're on the 5th floor. We've got 1, 2, 3 more floors to load. Then we'll come back. After we put in our foam insulation, our stemming, we'll let that firm up over lunch. We'll come back over lunch. We'll put in our initiation system. We'll be done for the day. And then it's just waiting for the big show.
Transport others is tedious, so you learn to interpolate. You learn to balance the velocities and things.
First row will detonate. There's 400 millisecond pause. The next row will detonate. What we're trying to do there is create a cantilevered moment. We're trying to pull the building to the north. So when that column detonates, it exerts a force on the end beams and starts pulling on the floors. The next one, it releases and pulls even more as we work our way back. So hopefully with your camera, what we're going to see is detonation 1, detonation 2, detonation 3. It's very quick, but we should see it.
He's got a good decent push here. Well done.
That.
Waiting since 5 o'clock this morning.
Here we go, 10.
10, 9.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Debbie, wave.
Sir, I'm formally turning everything outside of the sight fence over to you.